this at what feels like the hottest day of the year so far, but we're just gonna make it work. Anyways, hi book besties, I'm Maite and this is my first YouTube video, and a little disclaimer to start. My first language isn't English, so there probably will be some grammar mistakes or something, but I'll try my best. Anyways, at the moment of recording this, it's the 11th of July. So we are past half of the year, and I wanted to do a little mid-year reading wrap-up that I saw on Sarah Caroli's channel. So I copied her questions and I will go through them with you guys. What's the word already? I have already lost the word. I picked, I don't know if it's right, but anyway. I picked some books of my bookshelves that I will discuss, but I hope I didn't forget one. But anyways, the first question is how many books I have read this year so far, and the answer to that question is 51. I am one book behind on my reading challenge of Goodreads, if you can see here. Yeah. So that's great. Honestly, I think I'll just catch up if I read some books on my TBR and get out of the Magnolia Park slump, because I don't really like this series, but it's fine. That wasn't the question. Anyways, so the next question is best book I've read this year so far. I have 4. The first one is Redeemed by Lauren Asher. It's the fourth book in the Dirty Air series. This is about Santiago. He's a Formula 1 driver, but he had an accident, so he had to amputate his leg, and he shut himself off from the outside world, locked himself in his apartment until Chloe breaks in his house, thinking that it's her father's house, but her father is Santiago's neighbor, so it's something. Anyways, this book was my favorite out of the series, and it's amazing. It has everything. It has romance, funny, but also deeper subjects, if that makes sense. So it's a great read. I loved it so much. And I don't know if some people say that Redeemed is not their favorite book of the series, but hell yes. Next I have Funny Story by Emily Henry. Let's just say Emily Henry is kind of a hit or miss for me, because the first book that I've read by Emily Henry was Happy Place, and I read that last September, I think, like last year. I loved that one, bought all her books that were already published, read them, didn't really like them, bought Funny Story when it came out, loved it. Literally, Funny Story, Happy Place are sitting on my 5-star shelf, and I still think about them to this day. Anyways, this book is about Daphne and Miles, right? Yeah. So the thing with this story is, it starts with Daphne's boyfriend at the time, Peter, broke up with her to go date his childhood best friend slash lover, I don't know. So he broke up with Daphne, and he said, I am going away with Petra, which is his childhood best friend slash lover, for a week, and by the time I come back, I want you moved out of this house. And she's like, you can't do that. And he's like, I can do that. So she's searching for a solution, and she stumbles upon Miles, who is knocking on her door the moment that Peter and Petra, those names, anyways, drove off to their vacation. And he's like knocking on her door of the house that she's has to move out of. And he's like, are they still here? And she's like, no, they're just left. But do you have a room available? And because Petra just broke up with Miles to go date Peter, he's like, you know what? You can move in with me, it's fine. Anyway, I'm putting a counter of how many times I say anyway or anyways in this video. Anyway. I don't do this on purpose, but anyway. Again, this book is funny. It's a romance book. It has a lot of deeper subjects too, which is amazing, and this entire story is so beautiful. Definitely one of my favorite books I have ever read in the 2-year period that I read. The next book is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. And it's about Brianna and Jacob, and they are co-workers in the hospital. And Brianna doesn't really like Jacob because she thinks that because of him, because he's new at the hospital, that she doesn't get the promotion because her boss wants to let them compete, but Jacob doesn't want the promotion. So he's like not really understanding why she doesn't like him. And Jacob also has anxiety. In some books, anxiety from a character is like hidden under some other layers, but in this book it is written and portrayed so good and relatable and beautiful, and it's continued throughout the entire story. It's not just in the beginning and then the romance hits and it fades away. No, it's through the entire book, which is also a huge positive for me. And again, this book, that's one of the reasons that this book was a 5-star read for me, because the way that that was portrayed and written was amazing, which is great. The other things in the book, other than the anxiety, was also so beautiful, and I don't know, it's literally my favorite Abby Jimenez book that I've read so far, and I've read 3. There's one on my TBR still, but literally, if I can recommend one romance book, I think at this moment I would recommend this one. And the next best book that I have read so far is The Frontrunner by Elsie Silver. This book, the entire series, but I will come back to that later, is so underrated, and I don't know why. This book, The Frontrunner, is book 3 in the Gold Rush Ranch series, and it's about Stephen and Mira. I'm so bad with names. And Mira is like the vet, and he is the misunderstood town villain, and nobody likes him until she realizes and sees that he's more than just this grumpy person people say he is, if that makes sense. And they get closer. Also, just the layout is amazing of this book. This book also one of the most beautiful books I have read. It's a romance, doesn't really have deeper meanings, I think. But I can be wrong because it has been a while since I have read this book. But I will come back to the series later. Next question is best sequel I have read this year, and it's oops, this baby. Yeah. There are some things that I can't stop talking about, and Lauren Asher and her books are one of them. She never misses for me. Like, all of her books are amazing, and they just hit me every time again. Like, I'm giggling, crying, tearing up. It's amazing. And this book is book 2 in the Lakefront Billionaire series. This is book 1. And it's about Raphael and Ellie. Ellie is the nanny for Nico, and Nico is Raphael's son. I don't know. This book is thick. Like, it has 570 pages or something like that, and some people might say that's a lot for a romance. It is a lot for a romance, but still amazing. I'm not really sure what to say because the only thing I can say about this book is that I love it so much and it's beautiful. Some people might not like it, but I ate it up. The banter, the tension, it's amazing. Like, just if there's one thing that a book has, and it's the single dad / nanny trope, I will buy it. I will buy it. And the next question is new release you haven't read yet but want to, and that is Reckless by Lauren Roberts. I forgot to pick Powerless from my shelf, but it's standing right there. I think it came out like in the beginning of this month, and it's book 2 in the Powerless trilogy. So Powerless was my first ever fantasy read that I read in this 2-year time period that I read books and like really read them. And I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was amazing. I really liked it. I didn't thought that I would, but I really did. Probably will read more fantasy books. I am interested in reading book 2 in the trilogy. Reckless just came out. I don't know what it's about, probably just a sequel to book 1 because it ended up on a cliffhanger. So yeah, I probably will buy that in a few weeks. But next question is most anticipated release for second half of the year, and then I have 2 ones. I think today is the release date of Play Along by Liz Stamford. I pre-ordered that one. I don't know when it will come in because those Belgian sites really aren't the best for pre-ordering, I guess, because normally if you pre-order the book it will come a few days before the release date or on the release date, but the last 2 books that I pre-ordered didn't really work out. So in the future I will just go search for them in bookstores, I guess. So Play Along by Liz Stamford, it's Zaya's book, I think. It was Marriage of Convenience trope? I don't really know anymore. Marriage of Convenience or Accidental Marriage? I don't really know. And another anticipated release that I have is Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. It's the second book in the Rose Hill series. This is book 1. And it's about West, I think. And I think West was the brother of Rosie. Rosie is a female main character of book 1. But I can be wrong about that too. So let's just ignore that in case that I'm wrong. But next question, biggest surprise. And this is a moment that I will come back to an entire series. Gold Earth Ranch series by Elsie Silver. I have no idea why, but I have never, or like maybe I have seen like 20 people talk about it online, which is insane because Chestnut Spring series is so hyped up online that you would think that this series would also be like so popular. But for my opinion, like I never see them online and it's just confusing me because these are all amazing. But it's so weird because I just randomly saw these on Amazon the other day and I ordered them a few months ago, like when I came across them. I read all of these books in a week. And I don't know who I was during that week, but let's just say that this series is amazing. And I don't know why no one is talking about it online, but let me be the first one to say this. Go and buy this series. It's amazing. Literally amazing. Every now and then, when I pass my shelves, like I walk into my room and the first thing I see is my shelves. And I always look at this series first. It's amazing and it confuses me so much that no one is hyping these up. So I am hyping these up. Read those. Next question, favorite author, debut or new to you? And that is also an author that I already talked about. And let me just search the books real quick. This is becoming a mess, by the way. And the author that I picked is Abby Jimenez. I have read 3 books so far by her. I think I already said that earlier when I was discussing yours truly. There's another one on my TBR card next to the camera. I think these books are like interconnected standalones. And the other one that is sitting on my TBR card is like a complete standalone and doesn't connect with these 3. But this was the first book that I read, Part of Your World. It was great, gave it 3 stars. It was a great starter and I had no expectations and it really surprised me. So, great book. Second book that I've read by her was Yours Truly. And the fact that I picked this one as one of the best books that I've read so far this year says enough, I think. But again, this book was amazing and beautiful and I loved it so much. Easy 5-star reads for me personally. And then I have read Just for the Summer when it came out. I think it was in April. And the thing with this book is that people love it. People love it so much and I understand why they love it, but it just wasn't personally for me. It was for me. I'm not saying it was bad or I didn't enjoy it. I did enjoy it. I also gave it like 3 stars, but I'm thinking of switching this up 4 stars, but I don't know if I will. But the female main character was annoying me at some points. There's constantly flying like something across my window, so I'm a bit distracted, I'm sorry. But the female main character was annoying me at some moments in the book. The male main character didn't annoy me a single time. Literally, people say he's the king of acts of service as a love language. And he is, they're not wrong about that, but I don't know, sometimes the female main character was like annoying me. I couldn't look past that for some reason, but I'm still thinking of switching it to 4 stars, which is great. I think the reason behind my 4 stars is that I loved it, but it has some flaws. So I would say that this is like a 4-star, 3-star read. Maybe 3.5. But I don't really give books like a half rating. So I just round it up to like 4 stars. Really loved her books. I will buy more of hers in the future. Next question is the most beautiful book, judging by the cover. Like, I have 2 most beautiful books, judging by the cover, and the first one is definitely Love Redesigned. The second one is Love Unwritten. Like, they're both so shiny, and I think it's because of the publisher. But like, the first book is about a designer, like a house designer. So the drawing of like the bridge, it gives like details about what the story will be about, and it's just so pretty. Also, not really the cover, but it has multiple playlists and a map. Amazing. Second one, Love Unwritten. Again, super shiny. It has a postcard on the cover. I don't know if you really see this, but this is the postcard. And it has like some of the song lyrics that Ellie is writing in the story, because she's a songwriter too for other people, and you can really see it, I think, but it says, like, you can see vaguely, it's like lyrics of her songs that she wrote. And here it says Hawaii, and they are going on the trip to Hawaii, which is also amazing eye for detail, and I love that. There are a lot of beautiful covers on my shelves, but these were the first ones that came to my mind, obviously. How many 5-star reads did I have so far this year? And the answer to that one is 9. Let me just grab them all real quick. Slide. Oh my god, they're gonna fall. Wait a minute. This is definitely making the highlight of this video. This is the pile of my 5-star reads so far this year. It ends and begins with the Lauren Asher book. Like, first you have Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. Next is Wrecked. It's book 3 in the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. I just realized how many Lauren Asher books are in here, but anyways. Book 4 in the Dirty Air series, called Redeemed. I already spoke about it. Then book 2 in the Gold Rush Ranch series is called A Photo Finish. Book 3 in the Gold Rush Ranch series, and it's called The Frontrunner. Wild Love by Elsie Silver. Funny Story by Emily Henry. Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. And Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. Next question, what books do you want to reread? And the answer to that one is Powerless by Elsie Silver, because I didn't really did rereads of a book, but I did one, like, I think it was last year, I don't really know, but I did one of the Spanish Love Deception, because that book was one of my first 5-star reads that I can remember. And now, since a few months, I have been doing a Chestnut Springs series reread, but like not in their order, like just what I'm feeling at the moment. So the first book that I reread was Heartless, then I did Hopeless, then I did Reckless like 3 weeks ago. So now, because I didn't really feel the vibe with this one, I still ended up giving it 4 stars. So I will just do a quick, because the thing is, I see so much TikToks and on Instagram so much things of this book, and it has so much potential. Like everything I see, I love it, and Elsie Silver never misses. So I think that if I just gave it like a reread, that I would end up switching my 4 stars to 5 stars. So that's another book that I want to reread soon. 5-star predictions for the rest of the year, and I don't really know about new releases, but the things, like the books that I have here on my TBR card, I have 2. The first one is the Mindfuck series by Saint Abby, if that's right. I think she's a serial killer and he's a police officer. I have said it a few times already, but I got into reading a few years ago, like 2 years ago now. Yeah. Whoa. And when I first got into reading this book, like I saw it and it was so interested to me for some reason. And I never really bought it because it was expensive for one book. It was really expensive to me. But a few months ago it was in a sale, so ended up buying it, of course. And now it's been sitting on my TBR card for months. Yes. Wanted it for so long, bought it, then didn't really touch it again for a few months. Maybe I'll read it soon. I don't know. I'm just a mood reader, and if I don't want to, like I'm not in the mood for this one, I will not read it. Another that I have on here is like the other book from Abby Jimenez that I'm having on my TBR card, and it's the Happy Ever After playlist, and I don't have a single clue what it's about. 2 years after losing her fiancé, Sloane Monroe can't seem to get her life back on track, but one troublemaking pup with a take-me-home look in his eyes is about to change everything. With her new pet by her side, Sloane finally starts to feel more like herself. Then, after weeks of unanswered texts, Tucker's owner reaches out. He's a musician on tour in Australia, and bottom line, he wants Tucker back. Well, Sloane's not about to give up her dog without a fight, but what if this Jason guy really loves Tucker? As their flirty texts turn into long calls, Sloane can't deny a connection. Jason is hot and nice and funny, there's no telling what could happen when they meet in person. The question is, how long will Jason really stick around, and is it possible for Sloane to survive another heartbreak? I don't know, but this book just screams 5-star read energy to me. Just because, for some reason, it reminds me of yours truly. Like the covers are kind of similar, kind of not similar, but the fact that it has a dog will give me big 5-star energy read. Okay, so this was the wrap up. I'm really hoping that I said everything right, like what all the books are about. Because the moment I finish a book, I will forget what they were about. But again, also really sorry for my grammar mistakes and the errors that I said. Let me know in the comments what your best book of 2024 was so far, so we can talk about it and discuss it. And then, yeah, leave a like, subscribe, comment, share, leave notifications on for when I post a new video. I don't really know when I will post a new video. I will find that out later. But yeah, really hope you enjoyed, and see you next time. Bye!